Yeah? Barbecue would have barbecued them. They would have been taught a lesson that their mothers have never taught them. You know, I heard one of the senior cabinet ministers saying that, you know, the president starts with the prayer and ends with the prayer. But between prayer, starting the prayer and ending with the prayer, what is said in between is lies. What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not so going. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
The agreement between Kenya and Haiti to deploy Kenyan police officers to lead the Haiti mission, backed by the United Nations, is causing a lot of backlash in the country. Our leaders here say this mission they're reading a lot of malice in this mission. Why are we going there? What are the motivations? Are there benefits for us as a country? 1,000 police officers being sent there despite calls from Haiti nationals for Kenyans not to step on their soil. Why are we going there? That's my conversation today on Philip Kisia Unscripted. He's a man who says it as he sees it. He doesn't mince his words. Philip Kisia has been Nairobi Town Clerk, former Nairobi Town Clerk. He is a leadership and governance expert. Philip, thanks for making time for me this new week. Not actually a new week, but this first show of this week. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great. I think just a bit of a cold, but I think I'm fine and I should be fine.
You should be fine.
Oh, yes.
What are Kenyans telling you? Because our shows are trending on different social media platforms. What are Kenyans telling you on the streets?
Well, Kenyans are happy with what the work we're doing. It's very encouraging to get feedback from Kenyans. And they're urging us to not to relent. And that is exactly what we are going to do. We are not relenting. Hatu banduki, hatu rudi nyuma. We shall say things as they are. We'll say things not to please, but say things that can move this country forward. Things that can help in governance, things that can help those in political leadership to provide sound leadership. So that is our job.
We've just stepped into March. This is, I believe, the 7th day of March. What are some of the things you see in this past, since we met last Friday, that you, in this political sphere, that you think Kenyans should be aware of and see?
There are two things that are so profound. One, my friend, the CS for infrastructure, Owan Murukomen,
yes,
saying that they have done some research and they've discovered that in 50 years, where we have bad roads, actually muddy roads, we won't have one accident. So I was wondering whether that is a vision of his, that's the vision of his boss, that we should have bad roads so that we can have less accidents. You know, it will sound so funny, especially coming from the Minister for Infrastructure. He's supposed to be building roads, but he prefers that we have muddy roads so that we don't have accidents. That was very funny.
Yes.
The other one was, on a sad note, you know, place of worship are to be respected, and particularly when there's a court order. It doesn't matter who is right or wrong, but we have a court order. So I saw my very good friend, Bishop Margaret Wanjiru, really crying and saying things that I would not have imagined she would have said after a year and a half of President William Ruto's presidency. Because she's the one who campaigned for this government in Nairobi. And as Senator Orengo said, that they are the ones who will cry. They have started crying. So Orengo's prophecy has come to pass.
It's their own people.
This government is eating its own. So it reminded me of this, I think, that the rich also cry. So the people who are supposed to benefit from this country are crying loudest. They are crying more than we are crying. At least some of us are just smiling.
Do you think this shows some fairness in the Kenya Kwanza administration, that it doesn't matter whether you supported us or not, we will do what we think is right by us?
No, it's not about doing what you think is right. It is doing what the Constitution permits you to do. There's a court order, for heaven's sake. If there's a court order, respect it. It's not about you or me. It's about due process.
So what are you telling Kenya Kwanza, fanatics, Kenya Kwanza, those who allied to President William Ruto, now that they have seen what has happened to Bishop Margaret Wanjiru?
Well, be prepared for more cries.
Let's talk about Haiti. You look at President William Ruto, who met Prime Minister Ariel Henry here in Kenya, signed a reciprocal agreement between Kenya and Haiti to deploy our police officers there. You have seen Joe Biden's administration, which has put a halt to the process of deploying their police officers to Haiti. But let's get to Kenya first. What does this, our involvement in the Haiti mission, mean for the country in our alignment with our foreign policies and our objectives and our stand in the international community?
Well, Jadel, I would want us, first of all, to contextualize this matter. And then to look at the motive before even you understand the alignment in terms of our foreign policy. So now, if you look at Haiti is the first African country to attain independence. I think they are saying it got its independence in 1804, but it was delayed. The Mzungus, the whites, France, Americas, and Europe, they never they never recognized the independence until 58 years later. Okay, so even if they recognize 58 years later, it still makes them the first African nation to be independent. Now, the other thing that you most want to understand is the fact that Haiti is among the most impoverished nations of the world. I think the ranking, according to 2001, placed them at 163 out of 191 nations, which is a very sad state of affairs. Haiti, 60% of the population lives in abject poverty. Okay? Now, but you just look at the amount of resources that country has. The country has mineral deposits in terms of crude oil. Their crude oil deposits are much higher than Venezuela. Much higher. If you look at things like gold, they have over deposits over $20 billion.
Oh.
Yeah. If you look at copper, it's over $10 billion. So this is a country that is blessed with so many resources. But you will discover that particularly Africa, all the countries that are blessed with the resources, and most of the countries in Africa are blessed, the interest of the imperialist is not about humanitarian support or democracy. It is about how much they can extract from that nation. So if you go back to history, you'll find that France, many hundred years ago, I think it was more than 100 and almost 200 years ago, almost, I think, from nowhere, they came and demanded that Haiti must pay them 500,000 franc. 500,000 that time. And Haiti struggled to pay. They cleared that loan in 1947. Then look at the US. I think it was President Wilson, again invaded with the army. I think it was in 1915, invaded that country, and they actually stole gold. Yeah, they stole, using the military from a poor nation. Poor in terms of military force, not in terms of resources.
Yeah.
So they just took away by force. Never paid for it. So you can see that the Europe, United Nations, and the US, they do not have the interests of Haiti at heart. It is what actually they can get from Haiti. That's the biggest driving force. So now, when you find our good president, His Excellency William Ruto, getting into a war that he does not understand, because he has this Uncle Tom mentality, yeah, that he wants to please America and the United Nations, so that he can be seen as a strong man in Africa. Instead of supporting Haiti genuinely to come out of his current mess, he's supporting an imperialist. Imperialist, the West, America, and the UN. These are imperialists. They don't have our interests at heart. So he's taking our soldiers to Haiti to fight a war that is not ours. This is not our war.
So are we aligning in any way with our obligation as a member of the United Nations?
What I talk about aligning, this is not even in tandem with our foreign policy. Our policy is very clear that we do not interfere with other nations' internal affairs. Okay? And even if you interfere, there's a process. Has Haiti invited us to interfere? From the reports we are reading, the Haitians, and I want to play that video.
We don't want them. They're not coming here to help us. They're coming here to help the status quo. They're coming here to help imperialism. They're coming here because they don't want us to be a free nation. So now, please, people of Kenya, don't let your government, don't let your Congress do that. And you congressmen in Kenya, please, we don't want you to come here like that. We don't want to hate you. You are brothers. But if you come to help imperialism, so now we will consider you are like enemies. Shame on you if you do that.
Haitians are very clear that Kenya, you are our brothers. But for heaven's sake, do not step in Haiti for the purposes of promoting imperialist agenda, for the purposes of pushing an agenda of a prime minister who is not elected by us. We shall resist. And if you make that mistake of taking that action and sending your people to this country of ours, Haiti, we shall return those people to the sender as cargo. They have made it very clear. Okay? The other thing that even you must look at, Jadel, is that the same nations, America, France, and Europe, they are running away from Haiti. What they are saying is that this is a very unsafe country, and therefore their nationals must move out. Now these are superpowers and they're moving out. Why would you send a third world-rated country to a war-torn area that you do not understand the terrain, that you have no capacity, that you have your own domestic challenges, but you are running in a different jurisdiction to lend support? Yet, even the courts who, gave you a leeway, they assisted you in a way, because they said the laws that you are relying on to execute this mission are unconstitutional. And they cited, I think it was National Police Act 107, 108, 109. They were relying on that one. They said, no, that section only recognizes a government that is legitimate, not illegitimate.
So that is my next question.
Yeah, illegitimate. So
this
that
reciprocal agreement with Prime Minister Ariel.
Now, you see, in fact, it is funny because it's not recognized in law. That section of the Constitution is very clear that you can sign a reciprocal arrangement with a government that is legitimate. Okay? 106, 7, and 8. 107, 8, and 9. Okay? And then, of course, you proceed and sign a reciprocal arrangement with a government that is not recognized internationally and even domestically. More so domestically. Because the people of Haiti who should determine whether a government is legitimate or legitimate. Okay? So that government is not recognized. Then you provide a safe passage for this gentleman called Andre, Rail Andre, to come here, sign some document. Now the man is having that document. It has failed flat on Ruto's head, because see, he is holding some piece of paper, calling it some agreement. Well, it cannot be executed. He cannot land.
He's
hiding somewhere. I don't know whether he could even be in Kisumu or Mudavadi. Yeah. So he's holding a piece of paper that cannot be executed. Why? Because the people of Haiti say, we don't recognize you. And if we don't recognize you, the only thing you can do, stay with that piece of paper that you have signed with William Ruto in Kisumu or Mudavadi. Let him give you residence there. And if the people of Kenya love you so much, they can also elect you as a prime minister. But in Haiti, you're not stepping in Haiti. That's what is happening.
Do you read malice in Joe Biden's administration in the US?
You see,
not deploying their officers, but supporting Kenya, pushing for Kenya to deploy our own.
Jadea, I think it is, I don't know what to call it. I'm trying to get the words, but for lack of better words, is African buffoonery, stupidity. Okay? And you want to play this good boy mentality, good boy. Because you ask yourself, the person sending on a mission is withdrawing their people, has refused to send their forces, who are better trained than you, who are better equipped than you. He is saying, no, it is dangerous and it's not worth any millions of dollars, that we are not going to risk the life of one American because of anything. But you, because of other considered interests, I'm told it's $200 million, you want to send our boys there to be massacred. And those people are very clear that send your forces here, we shall return them as cargo, period. Okay, keep off. So I think it's stupidity, because see, why would you send your people and the person sending you is saying, nah, risky? Why? But earlier on you asked me whether there are benefits. Of course, there must be some benefits. Of course, one is financial, that we are likely to receive this money. Not all of it will go to the pockets of officers. We'll receive international recognition, that is there. And our president will be seen as the strong man in Africa, the strong man, the new boy on the block. Probably because of that hardship that they will experience if they indeed step there. Because as expecting President Ruto to escort Andre, to escort him up to Haiti airport, and say, now I even hand over my 100 boys here. They now start working. They shake hands, but instead they came to say a safe zone, a state house in Nairobi, where the only thing we do is mandamano. There's no mandamano. They use bullets. Yeah, I'm telling you, if my president was serious, that's what I should have done as commander-in-chief, even to give motivation to his boys and say, okay, fine, you see, what do you call our jet, presidential jet? Kenya One. Land with Andre, and our boys landing in military regalia and aircrafts and what have you at the airport. They land, and there's a changeover. Now you boys start working. Yeah? Barbecue would have barbecued them. They would have been taught a lesson that their mothers have never taught them.
So are you saying from the word go, this is a failed mission? Is this what you're saying? Because you're saying barbecue will barbecue them.
Yes, of course.
Is this a failed mission?
It is already, it's already failed. Do you see this happening? Do you really see it happening from where you sit? Do you see these boys going there? Yes, they can go because the president is hell-bent to making sure that he makes a statement internationally. But I can tell you, it's risky, highly risky. And those guys are used to that terrain. They are used to mafia war. Our boys are used to soft war mandamano thing. This is not mandamano, my friend.
But we've been deployed in different countries. Our police
officers have never been deployed for a peace mission. It's only our military.
Yes.
Yeah, and even military, they decide where to go and where not to go. So what I'm saying is that there are countries that would have been better placed for this mission and not, why not take better trained? US is much more superior.
But they don't want to go there.
Much more superior. Why are they avoiding?
Do you read some sense in people saying you need to send our officers to the north parts of the country where there's banditry? Let's start with DRC.
You see, before even you go to DRC, Jed, we have our own domestic challenges here. The first call of our police service is to secure our internal borders. Internal. That's their job, to make sure there's peace, security, and tranquility. But here, we are being faced with shifter in Lamu and other areas, and northeastern province. We are unable to contain them. In Baringo, you can see those guys are all over, causing havoc. So you are leaving your own problem and running. Before even they consider going to the neighboring countries, we must have dealt with our problems here. Then deal with problems within Africa before we even dream of going to a place like Haiti. I think it's stupidity, if you ask me. Why would you just make such a reckless mistake?
Where's the place of Parliament in approving this reciprocal agreement? Because you expect if it has been signed, it should be debated first in Parliament, there should be public participation. What is the place of that arm of government when it comes to these deals being brokered by the president?
You know, I don't know, Jed, what do you expect from Parliament? Is there a difference between Parliament and State House? There's no difference. Yeah? It will just been taken there through the laundry system and out. It would have been presented. System. It would have been presented by the executive, and it just passes through the huge laundry machine, and out it is. But if we were indeed respecting the Constitution, that is what should have been done. That after the executive has taken a position, they have signed this, although they have signed it with a known entity. They have signed it with somebody who has no mandate. Zero mandate. They just signed. It was a waste of taxpayers' money. Security for this man, accommodation, what have you, and many other things we don't know that happened. Wasting of public resources. So, why is William doing what he's doing to our country? Bringing shame.
Is it difficult to say no to President Biden? Is it difficult to say no to the United Nations?
Forget about Biden. Biden is facing his own problems. I think he may not be in office another few months. Yeah. And when Trump comes, he'll be trumping people here. Yeah. So forget about Biden. Biden has got his own problems. And that's why he took an easy route. The easy route was, where's Uncle Tom? Uncle Tom, go on this mission. And you said, yes, sir. Okay? So it is a mission that is not ours. We should not even be wasting time on this thing. We have our own challenges. Let us deal with our issues first before we even think of such a mission.
So if you're asked,
which is a dangerous mission, risky.
If you're asked, why is the president forcing this mission, despite calls from Kenyans not to go for this mission, despite calls, despite seeing what the United States is doing, not deploying their officers, what would you say is actually doing?
You see, I said, Jed, two things will happen. Yeah? That when America has summoned you and has given you a job to do, if the only thing you can do is to take instructions from your master, you'll be seen as a good boy. This is a strong man of Africa, our partner. Why didn't they take any policeman from Museveni, who is more hardened? Their guys are more hardened. Why didn't they go to Rwanda? Their guys are more hardened. Soft landing was in Kenya. So he will come up as a darling of the West, a puppet of the West, because he has been summoned and he has taken up a risky mission, putting his own citizens at risk, high risk. And of course, the other benefit I can only see is that there's some money in this thing. There's some good money. Okay, what else do you see? Jadem.
Then what should we do for these officers who may not even want to go, families who think my husband, my father is taken to Haiti? What should we do as a country? Are we in that place where if the president says jump, we all jump and nothing can be done?
You know, it is coming to a point where we also need, as Kenyans, to take positions. The courts have pronounced this matter as illegal. It's finished. President William Ruto is not above the law. So, although he's the commander-in-chief, but there is no law that gives him power to disrespect the Constitution. So those officers are at liberty to say no, will not disobey a court order. Although, you know, in the discipline forces, when you get your commands, you cannot disobey. Because again, there are sanctions if you disobey orders from your superiors. But the person who must be taken to task is President William Ruto. He's disobeying court orders. He's disregarding the Constitution. He doesn't care. This is a person who must be taken to task. So Kenyans now must make a decision. If a small country like Haiti have barbecued and have taken over the international airport, yeah, where Andre was supposed to have landed, he can't land. I think he's hiding somewhere in Kisumu or Mudavadi. He can't land there because barbecue has said, land here, we don't recognize you. We shall barbecue you. Okay, go back to your host in Kenya. Here you are not invited. So I don't even see how this government of President Andre will survive for another 1 week. You know, even the neighbors, if you look at the Dominican Republic, are saying, no, wait a minute, we don't want to get involved in this nonsense. We don't have time for this one. They try to sneak him through Dominican, and the Dominican said, no. We do not want to ruin our relationships with our brothers, the Haitians, because of one man. So it's one man. Yeah. You can deal with one man. You can tell one man, listen, I think it's time for you to quit. Other than trying to deal with millions of people. You know, this mentality that the Kenya Kwanza government has and the president has, that, you know, you are a strong man, what your word is as good as gold, it must happen. It maybe just happen in Kenya for a few more, 1 or 2 more years. But in Haiti, it doesn't happen. You come up with the Kichwangumu, they deal with you squarely. And that's why he could not land. You know, if my commander-in-chief was serious, he should have landed in that airport with his baby.
Kenya one.
With his baby, Andre. They should have landed. Then we see that happening. Then we would have taken them more seriously. But having some tea and exchanging papers here in Nairobi with somebody who is not recognized is a waste of time.
So finally, what's your advice for the president who's so adamant to make sure that these 1,000 police officers are deployed in Haiti now?
My advice is very simple, Jed. Yeah? He should just lower his pride. I know he doesn't want, you know, already his reputation is at high risk because he was headstrong that this mission will take place by hook or crook. Okay? He didn't know, he forgot to understand that that's a very a different geological and geological area. People with different traditions and people who don't care. Those people don't care. He forgot. He thought he's dealing with people in Kondele. He forgot that those guys mean business. And when they say no, it is no. Their no is no. You can't negotiate with them. So it is risky. Let him abandon that mission. Let him not even think of taking our poor boys, I hope there are no girls, to that mission. Because, I'm sorry to say this, but I see our beautiful souls coming back as cargo.
What a place. 7th of March 2023 conversation on Haiti. Our officers might actually come back as cargo because of what Kisia says, the president's pride. Kisia, final words to Kenyans as we wrap up.
There is hope in this country. Let us keep on praying, and genuine prayers. Let us move from this habit that we Kenyans have, because I understand in cabinet, you know, I heard one of the senior cabinet ministers saying that, you know, the president starts with the prayer and ends with the prayer. But between prayer, praying, starting the prayer and ending with the prayer, what is said in between is lies. 100% lies. So you are starting well, you're ending well, but what is in between is shameful. So we need to pray for the president, genuinely pray for him, so that he may reform. Because we need him, we want him to succeed. For once we had said that we have a president who is not a dynasty, for once. So there was hope for Philip Kisia, and maybe if not me, Jed, and if not Jed, our children. There was hope that you can come from somewhere, from nowhere, and become somebody. But now he has really messed up our chances, because people will make reference to him that, look, we gave them a chance, but you want to give a chance of somebody who does not understand what leadership is all about. So he needs prayers. We must pray for our president, genuinely.
All right.
Whether you are Kenya Kwanza or Azimio, please pray for the president.
And now
he needs prayers.
Kenya Kwanza and Azimio seem to be working together, Kisia. So let's all pray for the president. Kisia says pray for him so that he may reform, but genuine prayers, I must say. Thank you for tuning in to Philip Kisia Unscripted. Until we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.